Hello race fans and welcome to the final round of season 19 here in One Hub at Points Tier. Both championships have been decided and this race tonight is for glory. Aaron in the Mercedes stormed to an incredible championship after securing it against his teammate last week in USA, which begs to differ the point of Mercedes being constructors champions, with them being 1-2 in the drivers. You'd hope there'd be one number one in the constructors, which they are, which means that there is still second and third place to play for. I know for a fact in the drivers, I know Gazzaman can still overtake Colin. If Colin was not to finish and Gazzaman was to win with fastest lap, or even just win, he would overtake Colin for second place in the championship. We'll have a run through the standings then. I'll wait for a few more drivers to turn up. 13 at the moment. I know both championships are over, but you might as well turn up for the last race of the season for a while. We're looking at a spring 2022 return for season 20. Unconfirmed yet, but should expect information about next season around the new year. Don't forget to check out our sponsors, Next Level Racing, who have provided an NLR Direct Drive stand to our Driver of the Season, which is a brand new award for this season. And I'm sure the admins are choosing their Driver of the Season, and they're going to make their final decisions after tonight's races around a brand new track, not to forget. You may have seen it in ACC, you may have seen it in older F1 games. We've got it now. Imola is here in F1, and these guys, although they've not had long to practice, I find it a little bit of an easier track than a lot of tracks, even regular tracks, including Monaco. This is, even though it's brand new, it's easy to learn. We could see a brand new driver take victory at a new circuit. So I'll run through the driver standings as they sit going into this final round here at Points Tier. Aaron, crown champion with 143, 5 wins and 7 podiums. So 2 of those podiums were not wins, so he was out of 9 races, he's been on the podium 7 times. What a champion he is. And has a 39-point gap to his teammate Colin on 104. As I mentioned, still all to play for between second and third. 19 points is the difference. Gazzaman on 85. 20 points awarded for victory, remember. So it's still catchable if Colin was not to finish and Gazzaman was to win. Fourth, and technically I would say he's out of contention of P3. 21 points behind is Gazzaman's teammate, so it's Mercedes, Red Bull in the standings. Chunder's picked up form towards the end of the season and secured Red Bull second place in the constructors. Still to fight for in third place in the constructors, though, between Alpine and Haas. We'll get onto that as we run through the drivers. So Chunder's 64 points. We could lose out to Quinn on that 4th place if Quinn beats him by 1 point or more today. Quinn has a win to his name along with Chunder's, but 3 podiums to Quinn. So everyone inside the top 10 actually has secured a podium this season. That's Speed Quinn in 5th, One Hub Racing Premium Driver for Williams. Then it's Rageman in Haas with 61 points. Liam, Warner Racing Premium driver in the Alpine 59. So between 4th and 8th, so 8th is MCFC in the Alfa Romeo on 55. So between 4th and 8th sits 9 points. So the Alfa Romeo could finish 4th at the end of the season. O'Sully leading Ferrari at the moment. Warner Racing Premium driver is in 9th on 45 points. Still could snatch 4th, but is in the same scenario as Gazaman, needs to win the race and everyone ahead of him to not finish. Lawrence in the leading Alpha Tauri is in 10th on 45 points as well. Then you've got JW Combs in the second Alpine on 40. Second McLaren leading McLaren, should I say, of Mason on 35 points. Giggle on 33. Then you have ERT driver Jacko on 21. Second McLaren driver of Hooky on 20. Speedway in the second Ferrari on 14. IO Neon in the second Alpha Tauri on 10 points. Speedway Racer on 7 in the Alfa Romeo. Warner Racing Premium driver Kingdon in the Williams on 5 points. And Goodlip in the Aston Martin on 0. Not sure how many drivers we've got, but hopefully they can keep it clean for all 32 or 31 laps. Looks to be a dry qualifying session for the 16 drivers. And hopefully I can put on a show for us. Mandatory 2-stop as always here in One Hub. So we'll be looking at, from personal preference, it'd be a soft, medium, soft strategy, I would say. And with the allowance of pitting under safety car and virtual safety cars, you can hold out on those mediums if you want to until a safety car comes and then pit for fresh softs. I see a Williams and a Ferrari coming out the pits. I believe Speed Quinn will be first on track. Let's not press that. Let's bring this up. Do some of this. A lot of drivers deciding to go out on mediums, get a feel for the track. Seems to be quite a cool track temperature with cloud cover. Track limits on strict as always, so drivers have got to be careful. A lot of corners, quite a few chicanes here, turn 1 and 2. There's a few uphill corners that catch drivers out, such as the one that Quinn has just gone through now. Then there's the second chicane leading on to the final sector as it runs towards a double left that will lead on to the start finish straight. Only one DRS zone on this track, and that's from the start finish, just before the start finish, all the way down towards turn 1. So 19 corners, 10 to the left, 9 to the right. He's got to deal with a left-hander first, which is the first chicane that leads onto a fast-flowing right-left, and then another tricky section of corners here. You've got to brake as you're rotating the car through the first left, for the fast left, and the end of first sector, his fastest of everyone, being first on track. Counterclockwise circuit, 4.9 kilometers long, 32 laps. As I mentioned, and 1 DRS zone. 0 GPs as mentioned. C4, C3 and C2 tyre compounds available for these drivers. Mediums are the C3s. Set to be nearly a second slower than the C4 compound of the softs. However, can last 4 laps longer, according to the data we have. 13 laps for the C4 softs, 17 for the C3, and the hard tyres are 22 laps. That would be your desirable tyre if you were doing a one-stop. So Quinn will finish his first flyer, and it's a 16.4. I'm not sure what times we're going to be expecting, but there'll be a Ferrari to cross the line of Sully, who does a 17.4, so a second off at the moment. Next we have an Aston Martin of Jacko, goes third, 18.9. And we have an Alpine of Liam, who goes quickest with the 15.5, but on the soft tyres. There's your difference. There's your 9 tenths, 9.21. It's pretty close in terms of lap difference. Field's going to rubber in. I see a Red Bull coming into the pits, but I see Kington cross the line, finish an invalid lap time. Keenan struggling. There's McLaren going P3 on the soft, 17.3 for Big John. Then we have the Red Bull of Gazaman on the mediums as well to finish his first flyer. Goes in between Quinn and Mason, but in the 16s at the moment for Gazaman, and fighting on to try and snatch P2 in the championship. Holland becoming a dark horse in the championship race, picking up form towards the latter side of the back end of the season, and slid his way with consistency into P2. Speed Y Racer going into turn 1. We'll stay on board with him for the whole lap in Hulkenberg's number of 27. Now shift to 7th and flick it down to 4th. Don't run wide on exit, as you will invalidate predicted purple on the softs in the first sector. But with the inclusion of inclusion of TAS, I can give you the data as we know it. Oh, as Yuri invalidates, gets loose on the uphill right-hander and will not set a valid time. Rageman is behind the Aston of Jacko, who's completed 2 laps, maybe going for another flyer on at the moment. Trunder's in the pits, so that will be Gazaman entering the pits as well. Jacko, the only driver, opted to go for a second run on those medium tyres. Everyone else deciding to do 1 run and boxing, realising that the soft tyre was probably the best tyre to start on anyway. But Yuri going to probably go for another lap, and will do so with plenty of time left in the session. What's his teammate up to? Got a Haas of Rageman crossing the line. Where does he go? P2, ahead of the medium runners and into the 115s. Yuri's teammate, MCFC, fighting for a top 4 finish in the championship, goes third in the 16.2, but ahead of all the medium runners. Jacko will be next to finish a lap. Or will it be Yuri? Yuri will be next, I believe, to finish. Everyone else seems to be on out laps or in laps. Liam's done quite a few laps on those softs and gone 2 tenths quicker than what he did before. 15.3 now. Can we see a 14? With track evolution, you could probably see drivers hitting the 14, especially the drivers on the mediums who've still got pace to show. So Yuri will be next to cross the line to set a valid time this time. Shortest run to the line, and it's P5, just behind his speed teammate, but on the softer tyre at the moment. Jacko, will he improve, or does he dive into the pits? Jacko to the line, 16.9 on those mediums, but in P7. Lawrence and Trunders are finishing and starting second sector. Sully on softs has just started, so we'll go on board with Trunders in that second white Red Bull Honda Tribute livery through this tough chicane, where the sausage curbs are not your friend. If you bounce over them, you will lose time and grip. 10 drivers set times already, with Hookie setting a 26, so just a cautious lap, or maybe a spin, but it was valid. Trunders to the line. And it's P3. 16-0 and ahead of his teammate. Let's have a look at tyres of bests. So top 4 all on softs, and Quinn leading medium runner as Lawrence goes second with a 15-4. Next is Giggle. Hopefully he can set a valid lap. As I say, a Red Bull get out of the way of the Williams of Quinn, who's on soft tyres on a flyer. Just finished first sector. Giggle then. His teammate has set the benchmark of a 15.8 inside the top 3. These guys, I believe, are battling in the constructors. For a top 3 finish with Alpine. Giggle only 12th, whereas the Alpine of Liam, flying solo at the moment, is on pole position, so he's doing what he should do to try and secure that third place in the constructors. Giggle with some more time to find. To speed Quinn set a time on the softs. Whether it was valid or not, I'm not too sure. It was, because he's got ahead of Trunders and Kingjans in 6th. As Gazaman on his softs sets a 15.2. Good time from Gazaman. Hooky finally sets a decent lap time, goes 7th. And next will be, I believe, Giggle. Did he go for a second run? I believe he did. He's used a lot of EOS. And this could be a massive improvement from Giggle. Currently slowest time of everyone who's set one up to the line. It's P11 with a 16.3. It's pretty close at the moment. 3/10 separate P6 all the way down to P11. And 14 drivers have set times on the board. Yeah, Quinn's time was on softs, so it did improve up to 5th. So it's mid-wire, so gone out on a set of softs, set a bagger time, and now going out on mediums. Maybe going for 2 runs, see if he can get inside the top 10 and start on them. Everyone else is going to be on softs, so it could be strategic from your... Everyone inside the top 10 is going to be on the softs. Giggle has invalidated. Apparently, he's not put anywhere on his tyres as he spins through the second sector. Yuri's just started his flyer. Trunders is going to finish one, but he's got Giggle up ahead of him, who's already had a spin. He's got Rage. Yeah, he's got Giggle ahead of him, who's currently suffering with hot tyres. Maybe a little bit of slipstream could help, but any dirty air. As Trunders has, I believe, backed out. He has. Doesn't think he's going to find more time in this lap, so he's going to go again. So we'll go on board with Yuri, who'll be next to finish a lap that AlphaTauri Lawrence is on an out lap. So Yuri on the mediums has a 16.6 to beat. What can he do? Oh, bounces over those curbs. Doesn't invalidate, surprisingly, but probably lost a lot of time put in that corner. So our rivals for this week in points tier are between Big John and MCFC are your rivals for this race. They had a little incident, but Yuri decides to box and thinks the mediums are not the one. Rageman then, finishing his lap. Jacko, I believe, has just started one. Rageman really loose out of final corner. Up to the line. Wasn't quick, so went for another one. Maybe these drivers are taking a lap to warm their tyres up and then going again. Could be the case, but the sun has come out, so track temperature should have gone up. Lawrence is invalidated, and Jacko is in the second sector. So your incident is nothing to do with either of you. What would you say to Liam so he doesn't do this again? Oh, it's Liam's in the rivalry. So all three of them had an incident last week. Not last week, the week before at USA. And Liam's been asked, were you intentionally trying to cause mayhem and confusion by triggering a known safety car glitch? Ooh, interesting. Interesting was a dirty play from Liam last week. But Jacko will finish this lap. Valid as well. Will he get into the 15s? No, it's a 16.3 and he's in P10. MSFC ahead of him is on medium tyres. We'll try and get people as they're finishing laps. Rageman, did he go for another one? He did. Up to the line and goes P1, 15.2. Told you, took a lap to warm the tyres up. And slaps it on pole position. What a lap from Rageman. Alfa Romeo of MSFC on those mediums is next to finish, but he's taking some time to warm up. Yeah, putting some heat into the tyres, not burning any ERS. But he's got to watch out. He's got a Ferrari and a Red Bull. Ferrari, I believe, is on a lap. Ferrari's on a lap, and you've got a Red Bull behind on a lap. No, the Red Bull's on an outlap. Ferrari's backed out as well. So everyone trying to be last across the line, maybe. But as Rageman did, took a lap to get heat into the tyres, get used to the track conditions, and go for another lap, which is what all of these drivers are going to do right now. So none of them will be finishing. The rest of them will be starting. Hooky will be starting. You've got Jacko behind. Did he go for another fly? He did. He's out of ERS. 15.8. For him, puts him P6. Rageman, I don't think he would have gone for another one. He's going to box. We'll start on those tyres if it's dry. I saw Giggle starting a flyer. You've got the Williams of Speed Quinn. Nope, the other Williams of Kington starting a flyer. And then the Red Bull of Gazaman, who's on an outlap, who's about to start. So he will be probably last across the line. But first across the line will be the... No, will the Alpine make it? Alpine will be last across the line, never mind. Because Quinn's on a flyer. Or maybe he's not. No, everyone's trying to be last across the line. Come on, guys! It's difficult for me already. And he runs wide. That could have costed him, but he's going to be starting a fly now, but he's going to get... He's going to be giving a tow to Lawrence right behind him. So Hooky across the line is now going to start a fly after doing one installation lap. MCFC into the pits. The Ferrari Sully across the line is going to go for another lap. Didn't find that last lap was good enough. Maybe made a mistake. So going again. Giggle going again. Kington is invalidated, and that's his qualifying over. Next is the Aston Martin. He's putting into the pits. Then a Red Bull of Gazaman then. Can he snatch pole position? He can't because he's invalid, but could go again if he chooses to, with 10 seconds to go in this session. Alpine of Liam. He's marginally up in the second set after two sectors. This is not good enough for pole position, but could be enough to put him on the front row. Can he find more time out the final corner? Up to the line. He's on the second row. Will it be the front? It won't be. He improves his time, but with a 15.3, he'll start no higher than third. Next is Quinn across the line, goes P2. With giving the slipstream of Lawrence, puts him P5. Hooky next has invalidated. Then you have the Ferrari of O'Sully. And I believe Yuri behind him. So O'Sully to the line is P8. What can Yuri do? Well, Giggle first. It's only 12th. Yuri up to P6 with a 15.6. Wow, what a close grid. I believe that is the end. The Red Bull of Gazaman is not finished just yet. He's nearly 3/10 up after 2 sectors. Doesn't run wide out the final corner. Can we get into the 114s? We don't, but he does snatch pole position. Gazaman is in form once again and beats the Haas of Rageman to pole position by 300ths of a second. So these drivers needed some laps. Needed to put in some laps to get used to the grip and the track itself. Our two hot is Trunders, in good form as I mentioned, and still cold is Kingdon then. So our grid for this Italian Grand Prix, rounding off season 19 here in points tier. Championships already settled. It's all for glory. But P2 and P3 in the drivers and 3 and 3rd in the constructors still all to play for. Gazaman, Rageman, Quinn, Liam, Lawrence, Yuri, Jacko, Trunders, Sully, Hooky, top 10, all starting on soft. There's Kingdon, MCFC, Giggle, Mason, Aaron, who decided to start from the back, along with Colin. Both Mercedes, having secured the double, are looking to go last to first, especially from Aaron as well. Looking spicy for him. Giving himself a little bit of a challenge. Yeah, seems like a long time ago when he was winning the Prospect title with relative ease, but has looked nothing like that driver for most of the season in that Williams Kingdon. Trunders seems to be a solid bet for points when he starts and could be higher still if things had gone different. Yeah, had a poor start to the season, but picked up the form midway and now sitting 4th in the drivers, looking to secure 2nd in the constructors, which I think they have done. So we wait for the grid then. I believe there's formation lap. If there's not, we'll get underway shortly anyway. 32 laps. All dry from the looks of things. And could be a very dramatic finale when there's nothing on the line. Yep, looks like we're going to get a formation lap. So it's Red Bull at the front. Mercedes taking engine penalties in qualifying are starting at the back. Didn't bother setting any lap times and going to do a last to first challenge. So then, tyre. Oh, Sully's already been disqualified from the session. So, tyres then for the drivers outside the top 10. Even though MCFC wanted to try and set a time on mediums, he's decided to opt for the softs. So there's your strategy. Soft, soft, medium, or soft, medium, soft for your 2-stop strategy. Hooky, Kingdon, MCFC, Mason, Aaron and Colin all going aggressive, starting on fresh, soft tyres. Giggle, the outsider of everyone on the grid, on the medium tyres, going long, and maybe thinks the softs can do. If 2 sets of softs can do 26 laps, you realistically only need to do. You only need to do 6 laps on mediums. But no one really knows unless you've done some really sweaty Grand Prix mode testing. Then you're not going to know what the tyre wear is realistically going to be like, how long these tyres are going to last. But Sully's waiting for the drivers on the grid. Mentioned in the comments that he got hit from behind. Usually if you get hit from behind, both both drivers get disqualified, but maybe there was contact on one screen and contact not on the other. We'll soon find out. May go to a student's inquiry anyway, because you're going to have cold tyres on the grid. Luckily, you're on the softs. If you're on the mediums, you'd be in big trouble on the start. So we're going to wait on the grid. Nice. For the 5 red lights. Rageman on your left, Gazzaman on your right. It's lights out, and away we go for the long run down towards turn 1. This is going to be crucial, but the race is not won on lap 1 at turn 1. Gazzaman leads from Rageman. A few position swaps down towards the braking zone of turn 1. There's an Alpine ghosting through. He may have disconnected, but clean start for Gazzaman as Quinn has jumped Rageman into P2. Hookie's up to 6th with Sully 7th. Speed Y Racer dropping a few positions down to 9th as far as I'm aware, and Liam down in 8th. Aaron already making up 4 or 5 positions from the back. Colin making a few. Kingdon at the back, our cold driver, and already 5.5, 6 seconds off the back of the group. Gazzaman on a charge. Knows that if Colin either does not finish or finishes outside the points, he can't. Oh, never mind. I've just cursed him. I've literally just cursed him as I'm speaking about him. Oh no, Gazzaman, it's all gone wrong on that uphill right-hander, causing the yellow flags. There's a McLaren behind, losing the back end. That's Hookie. He can't find traction either, and he's now falling behind Kingdon. Speed Quinn, on his second account, leads the Grand Prix ahead of Rageman. After losing position, regains it up to 2nd. Lawrence up to 3rd. Now Trunders is the leading Red Bull as we start lap 2. DRS is going to be crucial because the slipstream is going to be very powerful on the run down towards turn 1. Very long as we look for a move from Lawrence on the outside of Rageman. Gives him the space. Owen runs wide onto the grass on exit, but gets the position. Great driving from Lawrence up to P2, but out of that DRS window at the moment. Into the pits are Giggle, who'd done 1 lap on those mediums. Maybe picked up a bit of damage. Kingdon's in as well. So Liam, MCFC, Kingdon, Giggle and Hookie all into the pits for fresh tyres. Liam, MCFC, Kingdon and Hookie all on to mediums. Giggle's opted for the hards. He could have gone for another set of mediums and then softs to the end, because I believe the one-step strategy is fairly simple anyway. Runs a little bit wide there. Oh, and the back end loss from Rageman as a run on board. There's contact between him and Trunders. Yuri from out of nowhere, as well as the Ferrari of O'Sully, up to 3rd and 4th. Great start from these two after O'Sully had a DSQ off the line, now up to 3rd. Great start from the Ferrari powered teams, the Italians. Yeah, definitely a great start from the Italians, because AlphaTauri Italian as well. So 2nd, 3rd and 4th for Italy at the moment, as Quinn pulling away in the lead. Hopefully this time he can not bottle it, although I think I might have put a little bit of a commentator's curse on him now, as Aaron move on Trunders, trying to go up the inside into turn 1 without DRS, as it's just been activated. There's a Haas of Giggle around on those hard tyres, coming to the end of that 2nd sector. So that tricky uphill right-hander is catching a lot of drivers out on traction, and I can see why, because if you carry too much speed in, the rear end's just going to step out. The rear end's just going to overtake the front, and you're going to lose a lot of time. It's very good. Yeah, Aaron P5, Colin P8, but you got to remember 5 drivers have already made their first pit stop. If there's a safety car now, that would neglect the gap and maybe neglect the pit stop as well. Neglect the pit stop, but yeah, Aaron on a charge at the moment. He's got Yuri next, but O'Sully's got a bit of a gap. He's the one starting this train down to P6. Trunders, luckily didn't get any damage from as far as I'm aware. Still within this 1 second train, as Lawrence looks to close the gap down to Quinn by setting fastest lap. Now, I've got TAS up, and at the moment The Ferrari is getting overtaken by Yuri. Yuri had the outside, which turns to the inside. Yuri didn't really have that much space, but the car was there, and the space was left on the Ferrari, and so Sully is spun around. Might be a racing incident, because Yuri had the DRS and the overspeed, and is now up into third place. Aaron just picks up yet another position, and is up to fourth. Sully, I don't think, picks up any damage, as Aaron tries to go around the outside of Yuri as he runs wide on the exit of that fast left-hander. Now into this tricky uphill right-hander. But Yuri gets a little bit loose out of this. Is Aaron's opportunity to overtake, but he's going to have to go through the outside, through the chicane. Probably not an overtaking spot, but he's going to go for the under and over, the better exit, and gets it done on the power. What can Trunders do? He now wants a bit of the action. Side by side between him and the Alfa Romeo down towards the penultimate corner. And Trunders, after losing the back end, is back up to fourth. Runs wide on exit. Probably get a warning for that, and has already picked up a 3-second time penalty. Yuri then will have the benefit of DRS. Aaron's going to be the sitting duck. Side by side between these two on the run down towards turn one. Yuri having the slipstream of Aaron, keeping him ahead at this moment in time. Can Trunders get him under brakes? Not this time. Yuri down to fourth, but hanging on at the moment. Quinn still ahead of Lawrence, and out of reach of that 1 second window for DRS, as I mentioned. Now Trunders gets ahead of Yuri at the end of the first sector. That's not really an overtaking spot I was expecting, as Lawrence now picks up a 3-second time penalty. And Liam seems to be catching that gap down to Rageman, as it was 22, now 20. And we know a 30-second window for a pit lane. For the pit lane is 30 seconds. Trunders now falling away from Aaron's DRS as they get to that point where not the activation point, but the detection point right there, I believe it is, where these drivers are going to get DRS. Yuri will get it, Trunders will not, and Trunders will probably be a sitting duck. We'll go on board with Speed Y Racer down this long straight towards turn one, the overtaking spot of the Grand Prix. Yuri decides to back out, doesn't want to send it up the inside, and will take his opportunities elsewhere, and there it is. Patience for Yuri, and the safety car comes out as Trunders lose the back end, and he is out of the Grand Prix as his teammate drives by. And we have our first or second retirement of the race. Kingdon is out. He lost it up the hill at turn two, who I believe has caused the safety car, which Trunders panics under power on the exit of turn three. Oh, that's great. There's just some beeping outside. I can hear it through my headset, so I'm sure you guys can hear it through the mic, and I apologise for that right now. I would love to know what it is. But now that the safety car is out, will the leaders pit? Opportunity for everyone inside the top 9 to take a pit stop on the safety car, and I would do so. I would do so indeed. Either go aggressive and more softs, or go safe and go on the harder compound to go on the faster one at the end, and that's what Quinn's going to do. Lawrence into the pits as well. Aaron should follow suit, which he does. Yuri will. These drivers will not have an issue with double stacking. Jacko, although he will probably want to lead the Grand Prix, will be happy to be in P5 in the Aston Martin. Gazaman already up to 6th after that spin. Into the pits as well. Colin's going to have to suffer the double stack, so we'll ride on board with him. Is it going to be slow? Might be a little bit slower, but it's not going to be as slow, but it's going to get held by the Haas coming into the pit lane. Colin should come out back behind Gazaman, so shouldn't lose too much. No, I didn't lose too much either with the double stack, so it was the perfect opportunity to pit. However, a lot of drivers going aggressive. That's Lawrence, Aaron and Colin, both Mercedes going aggressive. But will Colin get out ahead of the Alpine? He won't. But will he get out ahead of Mason? Of MCFC? He will. He didn't get out ahead of Liam, who's on 4-lap-old mediums, but crucially on the soft. So going aggressive is Colin in P8 along with Rageman Aaron and Lawrence. Everyone else, Speed Quinn, Yuri, Jacko, Gazaman, Liam, or not, well, Liam decided to go on the mediums on lap 1 or lap 3, MZC as well. Mason opted for mediums this strategy. O'Sully on the hards, Giggle on mediums, and Hooky on mediums as well. So, everyone's made 1 pit stop at least. But how many have made 2? O'Sully going to the end of the Grand Prix will be on hard tyres. He's going to have to be very careful, as we saw with who was it put? Giggle put on the hard tyres and struggled with them on his first flyer. So he's going to have to put a lot of heat into them to get to the end. I'm sure Giggle would have wanted to put mediums on and then go on to hards now, because I don't think the mediums are going to go all the way to the end. 17 laps predicted, that only goes to 24, but a few more safety cars could help him. He doesn't have to pit yet, or will not have to pit unless a late safety car comes out towards the end. Then he could just go on softs. Hooky will probably do the same. Everyone else has to make a mandatory second stop. Everyone else, 3 drivers, 12th and 13th and 14th, will all be played into their hands. But Sully's got some work to do on those hard tyres. Got to put some heat to them, and he's got to get some overtakes done. It is a long pit stop, which is why these drivers have probably chosen to do it. They're not losing any positions. Gain back the time of that second pit stop and have an advantage unless there's another safety car. It's quite a huge advantage. 30 seconds is a lot of ground to make up. Even if you are going to be on a softer compound, for example, Lawrence, Aaron, Colin all going to be on the mediums, and Rageman will be on the mediums. They're going to be 1 step softer than the hards, but they're not going to be as quick as Quinn, Yuri, Jacko, Gazaman, and Liam, MCFC, and Mason. They're all going to be on, should be on fresh softs for their final stint. Maybe not Liam and MCFC. Maybe they might make an early gamble, go on to another set of mediums, knowing the life of the tyres. This is the information that Liam, MCFC have got that Gazaman, Jacko, Yuri, and Speed Quinn don't have at the moment. They know how much tyre wear there's going to be after 4 laps of racing, and how long it's taken for them to get a good pace and heat into those tyres. Unfortunate for you, Isaac, didn't come into this season. Well, you came into this season as a champion and have come out essentially last in the standings. But you did score points. You did. Maybe F1 2021 is just not your game yet. As we go, green flag running here in Imola. Speed Quinn is going to get overtaken by Lawrence, and maybe he shouldn't fight it. He's got 3-second time penalty and he's on the softer tyres. Maybe use Lawrence as they go side by side. Space, just about enough space given. Maybe not enough for Lawrence on the inside as he rides the sausage curve, but Lawrence is ahead, and crucially ahead of Quinn, because Quinn is on those mediums. Aaron's going to have to try and do the same, get by Quinn as quickly as possible as Yuri picks up his first time penalty of the race. Now, here comes Aaron then, in the background. Going to have to do the long way round, but he's going to cut to the inside for the next corner. Not yet. I think Aaron is going to be sensible. He is the champion after all. He didn't win 5 races by making stupid mistakes and going for ridiculous dive bombs. But Quinn a little bit slow out of the uphill right-hander, and Aaron will have the inside into the chicane. Quinn essentially yields, knows it's not his fight. Let the softer tyre runners go, essentially, because there's no point fighting them, because they're going to be on the harder compound at the end. If you can stay within DRS and slipstream, that's going to be where your race is won or lost. Yeah, maybe so. You've still got Jacko car Kia Series to compete in. Maybe use that as practice. So down to turn 1. Lawrence ahead of Aaron, who's got a bit of a gap to pull after the battling with Quinn cost him some time. Quinn ahead of Yuri, who's now pulling away from Gazaman, who's got Jacko and Liam on the back of him. Liam trying to go around the outside in towards turn 4. Not an overtaking opportunity. Maybe into turn 6. This long left-hander uphill as well. Short shifting from 3rd to 4th is the way if you're using no traction control. So Jacko will hold on to the position for now. But a little bit of a train forming. Good pace from the Speed Boys, hanging on to Aaron as well. Has pulled away that 1 second window to Gazaman. But that tricky right-hander is costing these guys a little bit of time. But Yuri is all over Quinn. Quinn really struggling on these medium tyres. At the moment, your race leader, who took the race lead after Gazaman spun towards the start of this race. Nearly a third of the way through, yellow flag sector 3. That's Sully on those hard tyres. I mentioned it before, it's going to take some time to get some grip, some speed, some pace, some lap time, some consistent lap times into those tyres. And he's spun already. Colin already making moves ahead of Jacko, who Liam got by just before, but Jacko's going to try and fight this back as he defends from Rageman down towards turn 1. And Jacko not having a fight with Colin, but should be wary that those drivers are going to be on the medium tyres for their final stint. And you, my friend, if you keep your nose clean, will be on the softs and be charging back through. So if you're in a decent window and you're going to be on the faster tyre, Jacko moving left, moving right, trying to defend from the Haas. Haas not liking it too much. Jacko goes slowly on the exit towards this tricky downhill and uphill right-hander. Rageman's going to be raging in that cockpit. If Jacko keeps this up, already falling shy of that DRS window that he needs to be in to get the benefit of the car ahead. Jacko with the squeeze. Really not giving Rageman any room, any space. But does Rageman dive it up the inside? He does. Maybe Rageman should have been a little less hot-headed there. Maybe should have waited for the straight, known that Jacko was not going to have the benefit of DRS slipstream, and now he's going to let his teammate through. Oh, he's not. His teammate's going to let him through. I saw a bit of carbon fibre come off. I'm going to check TAS for that. But Rageman didn't box, so therefore it's not front wing. Could be side pod damage. Could have been MCFC, who has a front wing change and could have been caught up in that accident, in that battling at the front or in the mid pack, and had to suffer the consequences of a early pit stop onto another set of mediums. 20 laps he's going to have to now take those, but with any safety cars there could be a possibility. Aaron now on a charge, already in that 1 second window of Lawrence, and could be at threat to take race victory. Yuri having gotten ahead of Quinn, now looking to hunt down Aaron. Quinn doesn't seem to have the pace and already falling into the clutches of Gazaman and Liam behind. This little train is starting to form, but we'll go on board with the leaders because they're going to have DRS first. They're the ones who are going to be making overtakes first, or should be, but Liam could be chucking it up the inside of Gazaman for all we know. This is for the race lead. Down towards turn 1. Lawrence defends the inside. Aaron's going to swoop round the outside with the benefit of DRS, but it's low on ERS, below 10%. Lawrence has got above 10%, but not as much as the leaders swap. Mason loses 2 positions down towards turn 1. Loses out to Rageman as his teammate. Rageman now looking for revenge, looking to close that 2.3 second gap and close it back onto Jacko. Liam doing well on those 10 lap old medium tyres in P6, hanging on to the back of Gazaman, Quinn and Yuri at the moment. So there's phases of this lap where Yuri can pull away from Quinn, get out of that 1 second window, but at the moment Quinn's doing a good enough job to get the benefit of DRS, and this will help him not get overtaken down towards turn 1. But Yuri could be a sitting duck for not only 1 car but 4 if Colin can stay in 1 second. He's just shy at the moment and may fall shy of the DRS because of the benefit of the slipstream down towards the penultimate corner. Aaron sets fastest lap again now that he's taken the lead ahead of Lawrence and looking to stretch that 1 second gap. But Lawrence managed to get the DRS. Now down towards turn 1 for the battle for Final spot on the podium. Does Quinn fight this? It's all for glory. Quinn late on the brakes. Yuri not fighting it too much. But will Yuri get the better exit on Quinn? Down towards turn 4. Realistically, the only real opportunity to overtake, and only one you really want to go for, is down towards turn 1, because if you're the car behind, you've got the benefit of slipstream, you've got the benefit of DRS, and you're more likely to get the move done more cleanly. However, a lot of drivers have shown it can be difficult to overtake into turn 1 when they're going side by side. Six seconds the gap to the drivers on the softs, but that gap will reverse itself once they make their final pit stops. MCFC at the back is going to be praying for a safety car to bring him back into any opportunity to take points for Alfa Romeo. So according to TAS on the damage model, those soft tyres are looking quite worn compared to the mediums of Yuri and Quinn as they go side by side down towards turn 1. Yuri, using the benefit of slipstream DRS this time around, gets ahead of Quinn. But Quinn now a little bit under threat from Gazaman behind in the Red Bull. Looking for a recovery drive is Gazaman after that early spin, and in a great opportunity to maybe not only snatch a podium, but could be on course for the victory, which is what he would want to end the season. Down the hill into this banking left-hander. Haven't seen that many mishaps at that corner on traction. Drivers having learnt the traction on exit, knowing the apex speed. Quinn a little bit loose, but Yuri was didn't really pull away due to the poor exit from Quinn. Now, will the speed drivers swap positions yet again, or will Gazaman try and get himself involved, but it's got to be wary of Liam behind. Aaron swapping positions from Lawrence with the benefit of DRS for Lawrence this time. Down towards turn 1, Lawrence now leads. Now, is there going to be a swap for third place? Again, Yuri defends the inside. Quinn's going to have to go around the outside. That leaves the door open for Gazaman to maybe try and follow Quinn through, but Gazaman not risking going late onto the brakes. But Colin, as Liam loses a few positions, having tried to get an overtake maybe on Gazaman, or Colin tried to get an overtake on Liam. There was contact. Liam got sent into the gravel at turn 1, but no safety car yet, as penalties coming thick and fast. Only 4 drivers inside the top 11 yet to get a penalty. Everyone seems to be keeping it clean on 3, except for Lawrence, who may have thrown this away. Aaron has lost a little bit of pace. Whether he's got a little bit of damage, or whether he now knows that because Lawrence is on, has got a penalty, has got 9 seconds of penalties, has no real reason to be that aggressive.